My name is David Jenkins. Welcome to the Act of Hobo, where we tell stories because stories matter. And we have a pretty cool story to tell you today. We've got Jurgens here, the co-owner of Versus Socks, sitting with us. Thank you for your time, Jurgens.
Oh, thank you. It's great to be here.
Long drive out from Stellies.
I think I took the coastal route. I just love the beach. I took an opportunity to go coastal. Yeah, great to be here.
Good man. Thank you for coming through. We were sitting chatting now about a couple of the amazing things that you guys have done. I'm dying to get into the Versus story and talk about some of the incredible stuff that you've done. I find it funny that you say you don't want to become an events company, but you run some of the best events people have been to, which I'm dying to get to. But before we do, I would imagine there's somewhat of a story behind how Versus Socks even comes to being. And I'm very interested to understand your personal story that led you to that moment. So if you don't mind kind of giving me the foreground of where that started out, school, what some of the impulses were that led you to this thing, and then we can get to the meat of this conversation, which is this amazing brand that you've built. But very interested to understand your story as a starting point.
Yeah, thank you. From early on, so I grew up on a farm. I grew up on Lourensford. It's a mountain bike mecca, and Cape Epic actually came through on our front door. And I grew up with all these events happening, and I had the perfect environment to almost see all these events, and said to my parents, also want to win the Cape Epic, or that's my North Star, professional cycling. So from grade 7, every day trained. Didn't want to go study. I wasn't actually very good at studying. But my North Star was professional cycling. I lived it, I breathed it. It's my identity. And then, I was at school in Roos.
Okay.
Did matric there. Just passed my grades. It was a struggle, but the cycling, I think I was the best in that school in the cycling, and that was good enough. And then was open in the big world. Still wanted to be in a professional team. I thought that was my life, and I wanted to pursue that so big. And so I went to Elsenburg Agricultural College just because my dad was a farmer. It's all what I saw I just grew up with it, and it was like a default. That's my backup plan, farming. But back, I was there for 6 months. Also failed all my subjects, and then I got a first pro contract with a local team. I think it was Contigo, pro mountain bike team, and for a small salary and a dream, and that was good enough, like my ticket out of jail.
Was there any connection between failing your grades and getting a pro contract?
Yeah.
Maybe don't say so, because your parents will likely watch this.
Well, they usually say, no, I didn't give my best, but for me, that was my best. But studying, from grade 1 was always, it was a schlep. It was difficult for me. I had ADD, ADHD. I was on Ritalin early on in my grades, and I'm not shy of it. It's the school. I usually say school is a lot of individual work, where now in the real world it's teamwork.
Yeah.
Like I have to go write my exams solo, and now I'm in the business. Like everything is. It's teamwork. How you communicate, who's gonna work on your weaknesses. Yeah. What must I do? I look at one, let's say, slice of the pizza. But at school, so I understand where school comes from. Everybody need a base. You can't customize it too much for everyone. But I flourish much more in this phase of my life than the school thing. So, but the cycling, I loved it so much. I want to compete. I want to win. That was in my DNA. Will do whatever it takes. And did cycling for 4 years. Did all the big events. Won a few, I think 2 or 3 professional teams. Raced about 50, 60 race days a year. So I definitely had the opportunity to go all in and do my thing. But at the back of it as well, I knew that I'm not the world champ. You need to be realistic as well.
Sure.
I had talent. I really had to work hard, but just not good enough. I was, let's say, top 10 in the marathon in South Africa easily, but I couldn't do the breakthrough right at the top. And in the back of your mind, you're always thinking like, you need a backup plan. I mean, you need to eat.
Yeah.
So went to study marketing for 6 months, and then got to, I think 23 years old, got the sock idea. And like, because we were in that environment of cycling, like if you're in that environment, you can see the gaps and the opportunities.
Sure.
So when I studied for 6 months marketing, it just completely changed the way I think, and I immediately spotted opportunities. And the course was, I think, a year and a half. We had to go to classes or theory, and then you need to do practical. But in 6 months, I said, I've got a plan. It's good enough. I'm going. So I left the building. 6 months in, nothing to show for it, but I had a plan, and it was good enough. The plan was, I think, worked well, and I was energized. Did a few basic calculations, and so there's a big gap. In South Africa, there was a monopoly brand that completely had the upper hand in South Africa, and we didn't have much. The consumer didn't have choices when it comes to socks, and we all know cycling is on the forefront when it comes to development with products, bicycles, kit. And then we were importing a lot of socks from Europe, and the high import cost. I think we were landing at that time for 350, 400, and so we had these socks, but it's way too expensive to compete. So that was the opportunity. So I had the plan, and I got another guy that I know in the school that he designed the websites and designing and photography and videography and committee. So it was a Swiss knife. So I immediately knew I needed that Swiss knife, and I know a bit about him, but we weren't best friends at all. And so
Is he also Paul Roos?
Also Paul Roos, same age, and he designed Paul Roos cycling kit. He was in the cycling team, and I knew he's got what I don't have. I've got the plan. And then I said to him, I think we were in a small, I had a small apartment in Stellenbosch. Got him. I said, okay, I'll pay you for this, but you need to design my first sock. This is the name. And he went back, and then I was fiddling on the computer. I mean, I come from a farm. All the designs are all over the show. I'm like, shit, I don't know even how I can get past one design to a manufacturer to do the thing. Like, I need him actually on the team.
Yeah.
But it went on like that, and he approached me again and said, it's quite a good idea. Yeah. He's got a solution for us. Let's go 50-50. And then we commit and we start the brand. So he just completed a degree in marketing, and he got his first job offer as well, and a proper paid gig. And I'm like, I've got the plan, and I've shared it with him. And then he said, okay, yeah, we'll think about it. I said, okay. So he said no for the first job. I said, okay, there's one thing. If we commit, there's no side hustles. This is the plan A.
Interesting.
Yeah. So no side hustles until today. If you work for us, there is no side hustles. It is our North Star. There's no backup plan. So for him to commit to that was quite special. And then so in 2015, we've launched a brand. Then we've had a website. So I didn't do much there because I've got the Swiss knife on board, got the plan, a rough plan. But I was the biggest cheerleader. I knew where we want to be. I knew how we're going to sell the socks. There's a lot of independence. I've got the connections with the cycling. I knew easily we can get the product and sell it. So, yeah, so we were, let's say, a small contract. We had a room in his parents' house, a garage. That's where ours was like 11 till 2, and then I cycled in the morning. And really not professional.
All still steadies now, eh?
All still Stellenbosch. And started to sell. I think we launched online before we had a product. I think till today it was 260 orders that we got before having the product. And that was always special. And there's a lot of names that we realized, your friends and family supporting you. Yeah. And then I think we had 4 designs. Took those designs to closest in Stellenbosch, Flandria, Mason's Bike Shop, all these, and then we went to the outskirts and signed, let's say, 30 odd, all your ground cycles, these guys. There was a need for that. There wasn't a apparel in the stores. It was an easy sell, and yeah, we went in with our samples, and they said, okay, I want 10 of that, then do the invoice there. I don't know a lot about business, so it's working. I had the socks in the car, so I drive. We don't have a storeroom, and then they order that and go fetch it in the car, and they give the base to them because we need to save on the delivery cost. And I go, I'm here, like the range is not big enough, so it fits into my boot, the Toyota Taz. And that's, like, I'm going to fetch your stock and you're going to get your invoice. And it can't be like that anymore. It's just too big, the range. Yeah. But then we drove up to Joburg. Also 2015, I think signed up 30 stores, start to learn the industry. There was definitely a need for, if I look now at those designs, I get shy. And they say if you are not shy about your first product, you launch too late. Yeah. So I know for that time it was right, but when I look at it now, I am shy.
Can you remind me what some of those designs were?
It was your classics, your black and white, and just with and the thing is the length the manufacturers got wrong, and we couldn't. We have to push
now
it
you're getting into cycling controversy.
A lot. But even
a 2-hour podcast on its own.
On its own, and the length is so sensitive. You must get it right, and we got it wrong on the first one.
Too short or too high?
Too short. Okay. Far too short. And this is it. We need to launch a product. We've waited 4 months for manufacturing because we are nobody. We're in the back of the queue. Everything is slow. All our funds are tied up. Now we've pre-sold the stuff online. And but I realized for that time the product was fine. And similar as if you look back where cell phones, where we thought the BlackBerry was good. For that time it was brilliant. Yeah. And if you wait for the perfect time, there is no such thing. You need to start, we'll tweak, we get the feedback. Now again, after 10 years, we get volume feedback in for us, the data, and then we improve the product. So it will always be evolving. We'll never stop with that. With any product, we'll never stop. But we had a small business going, cycling focused. And then 2017 got a call from Sportsman's warehouse. What was quite a breakthrough for us to say they see the brand. We are at all the expos. We are making noise. And for a buyer, it's sort of their job also to see what's happening around them. And our thing, it's not the nicest proposal that will land to a retailer. Everybody can do a nice proposal up front, but we knew it's not, nobody's going to even answer the phone call. You don't deserve it. So it took us about 2 years of trying to make noise, disrupt, just to get that opportunity where they see us. So we got into some of the testing stores, I think 10 stores, testing 6 products, and we just got lost on the merchandising and it's proper how a business is, and it's not easy. It's not going to give you half of the space, so you get lost, and we're trying to merchandise, just give our 6 socks that we get sell through. But Sportsman's was it was steady, it was very professional how they operated. Our orders coming far in advance. Now we could have hired people, we could get a new office. They were a crucial part in our building blocks. Yeah. We're working with experts, they've got buyers, planners, they've got stock divisions. It's a big business for them, and and that's how we like to be dealt with. That was great for us. And then if we got into that store, then we went to running as well, because running is it's a massive sport in South Africa. It's very accessible. And they were also lagging with a product. It's similar as the cycling on the sock division in South Africa, but socks were also, with technicality, with fashion, we've combined similar, and that's running is a big focus for us now as well, just because that opportunity presents itself. But 10 years on from where we have started, we do have a proper range but our North Star is still your running, cycling and gym. Those categories, we want to be the world champs. And the message, even for our team, if you wake them up in the middle of the night, it will still be world champs. So it's a clear direction for us. It's not to diversify too much. We will need to be top of mind when it comes to that product. it makes it a bit easier for us, just that be a focus. I feel where the economy is so very competitive in business, people looking for where is that specialist. I mean, I usually tell, trust the shoe guys with the shoes, but don't trust them with the socks. And that's for us as well. Like, we get the feedback. We've got a volume of data that we sit with. We pride ourselves, know the most about socks. That's all we do every day. And it is, if you look at the past, how we've built it, the recipe is working, but we can't become complacent. We need to be like humble, but we are hungry to go. So till today, we are the leaders in the performance sock market. It took a while, but yeah, we are confidently the leaders on the performance socks. But in the same sentence, we can't become complacent there. We know we are on a good level now. It's becoming a bit easier. We can hire specialists. The company is profitable, doing nice volumes. But now is to make sure that with the correct resources that we are pushing in the right direction. Because you can also do a lot of harm on a big scale.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where we are currently, and yeah, it's still the same, is to be the world champs when it comes to socks. And even if it's taking us 50 years, every day it's a brick in the wall for us to go closer to where we want to be.
Now, when you say the world champs of the socks, do you physically want someone to win world champs wearing your socks?
Yeah.
Is it that literal?
It's not that literal.
But why not?
More for, let's say, our competition in the game, and that's like the cycling mentality, where the other brands is our competition, and that's business is an infinite game. Like, there's no end. There's no end game. Yeah. But that's a type of. It was before our mission statement was to be the most loved sports sock brand in the world. Like, you can't measure it. It's a nice just to feel that, but we like the competitive versus is also a competitive name. One team versus another. We are like a healthy competition. That's what we try to foster.
It makes me think about, to go way back, there's a lot there. And I've got 1,000 questions in between, so I'll try and run them chronologically. But so my son's originally from Joburg. We moved here, Noordhoek, went to school at Fishhoek. Very good footballer there, like academy level, overseas, playing United's, Barca's, like, he's that kid, obsessive, like you. Yeah. I want to win, I'm going to be world champ. Like, I want to play, unfortunately, Liverpool one day. It should be Chelsea, but whatever. Conversation for another day. Moved to Cape Town, and soccer's not the language they speak here. It's rugby. The comparison of Joburg to Cape Town in terms of school sport and rugby, it's like, it hits us like a ton of bricks. And he was just like, rugby's now the thing. Long story short, he's now a pole boy terminally border, and to get to your competitive spirit thing, that's rivalry there between, I mean, you know, all the different schools there, has bred arguably the best rugby in the world. I think it's the most, it's the highest attending schoolboys rugby game. It takes place in Paul. Which a lot of people still can't seem to believe, but that's like 100% factually true. And that competitive nature, like, if I see what that's changed in his dynamic as a kid, he's 15 years old, he's changed. That it shapes your entire view of, like, what do you measure against? Everything is about that one competition and then everything else. Does that Paul Roos grounding? Because I'm always really interested. Anyone that's been through 5 years at a school like this, I believe that the man he'll become one day, that school would have made a mark on the type of man that he becomes. And you fairly often hear about people starting successful brands and businesses through those connections at school. Not necessarily mates, but he knows the values that another Paul boy will have. Same as, you know, Paul Roos. Like, there's a value system there. There's a way that people function. There's honesty, integrity, loyalty, all those kinds of things that naturally make them good business partners one day. And, well, I mean, it would be silly not to ask you if does that have any bearing on where you landed up?
Definitely. I think my biggest is, or what I've made from school, or Paul Roos, where my parents put me, and I think on that time, Paul Roos was the top mountain bike school in the country. But just when you arrive there, you feel let's say medium or not that high achiever, but you don't, the level of people around you like really elevates the room. Like all ships rise with the tide, but the tide is high there. So for you to just swim is already a massive achievement. Then you go out to the real world, and they made it, they normalized that high level of operation there. And that's just how we feel this is how the world is. Now you in the real world, like we are actually a different breed. And I think we saw it now with our Springboks team as well. Our backgrounds and our grassroots levels are so potent.
Literally shapes the man you
It
become.
is, it's the standards are, and everybody is so high ambitious that for you to have low ambition, you're not. I just get with the people around you, their goals are so big. Like, what's my goal? It's also that big. So it's an environment for you to flourish.
I mention it because I'm not for a moment saying those are the only 3 schools in the country that you can get that. But it's a lot of parents watch this content. There's a growing number of kids that watch this content. As a boy, Spencer, we back him through Elves. He's recently gone to Paul Boys. The school does so much to enable his cycling. I couldn't actually believe it. Like, they're not just, like you said, it's rugby, it's hockey, it's the Oak playing piano. Everything is A-team mentality. Even the esports, it's like everyone, no one's there just to be part of the school. They're there to dominate. They're there to own. They're there to, and then there's this other school down the road that has the same ambition. And there's this other school in Stellenbosch that has the same ambition. And they all happen to, and it just breeds this beautiful, high level output that is, I think, really, really important. And for any child or any adult watching this, I think it's so important to be mindful of that. That decision, those 5 years are so critical in shaping how you measure success and what your boundaries are. If you go to a place where everyone's aiming just to get a job one day, stands to reason you're probably going to, ambition is born within you. I think you're one of those people. But it definitely cultivates in an environment where everyone has big dreams, big visions, and is supported in a way that you can achieve them. You want to become a Springbok one day, 100%. It's possible. There's 10 that have come before you. No, this is what you need to do to get there. It's like, okay, I'm locked in, I'm going to go for it. So it's good to hear that. And I'm glad you reflect on that as positively as I'd have hoped.
But even today, like we hear a lot of motivation or ambitious. So for me, it's like 50% motivated, ambitious, but then the cycling worked for a while, so I didn't have a breakthrough there. So 50% is also scared of becoming second. So, and those like a potent combo. So 50% disciplined, motivated, ambitious. 50% scared of losing. And I feel that is a vital combo to success. Like, if there's no backup plan, you will perform different. And I think in sport, you also see, even in Springbok teams, those places where those guys come from, and that's what South Africa, they just play for something deeper for that. And I think we see it more and more, that is what South Africa got. We also, there is no backup plan, there's no grants or sitting with you need to make it happen. Like, you can live here, but you're going to work hard.
There's no easy outs in this country.
And that forms us, and we think good businesses grows from that, because money, even if we had a lot of money, couldn't have guaranteed success with Versus.
I'm going to get, that's one of my first questions when I get to the Versus story, because it's, I'll get there. I first want to touch on your mountain biking. So you raced, you were in elite teams. You mentioned there were 3 different teams that you raced across. Who were one who was an influencer in terms of who motivated you, I want to be like X mountain biker, and who were you racing against at that moment in time? We spoke on our breakaway this week about, like, imagine you're alive in the era as a pro and Tony Pogacar's in the peloton. or you're in the era of Candice Lill, as an example, or there's so many greats. There's always greats.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to color that in.
Yeah.
Who was there that made it so difficult for you to not have the breakthrough?
Well, I actually saw a photo on my Instagram with Marco Joubert. I think we did the Zuurberg Trek 3-day stage race, and we did a shoot the other day with him. And I said, yes, look how far you came. They gave me the red jersey, and I framed it with the socks. It's in our office now. And like the path that I was on, and where they pursued it and got the jersey, and I took the other path, and till this day, I would have liked to go that way, but it's hindsight. But yeah, I was fortunate to be in a few teams in the right environment. I think with Cargo Racing as well, Contigo, and then a few cool epic teams that just formalized for a month or so. But for me, actually, when I was quite obsessed with it's quite a while ago, the Kevin Evans and David George combo and the epic.
Okay.
That was like the first
so
obsession.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
Okay. What
Kevin
was it?
Evans,
what
the
about
360
him?
Live. It was that dream team of South Africa, and how they've operated. And I think there was a series that came out, the behind the scenes stuff.
There's actually a DVD that I watched before we interviewed Dave George as part of our Iconic series, and he gave me that DVD. It's actually a floating copy that we keep here if you ever want to watch it. And it's the first time I'd ever seen it, because I've only been in cycling the last 6 years, and it was proper old school gnarly stuff. So I get exactly what you're referring to.
I think James Reed was also in that mix, and those were the guys that went past the house where I grew up on Lourensford. That's where the water points were. That's where the wine to wells. And I even had a poster with Kevin Evans and David George, and then these guys coming past.
Oh, that's epic.
I remember Barry Stander and Christoph Sauser also. It was on our gravel road, and I was 12 or 13 years old. Barry Stander and Christoph on their way to win the Cape Epic. I had a scooter on the farm next to them in the Epic. And I checked the speed. It's like 45 km an hour on a flat road, and I know the speed that I do just to get the idea. And I've watched it on TV, and then they came past, and yes, I was just looking up to your local guys, and then some of your international.
Okay, that's cool. I'm so stoked. I'm
Christoph Sauser.
Gonna take that little clip out and send it to Dave, because it's cool to hear that.
Yeah, that was the South African dream team setup, and I think they also was a big. And I was into stage races. I was not a cross country, so I tend to go a bit more to the marathon riders than the Barry Standers at that time.
And who were you racing against? Who was on the top step of that podium most often?
Most often it was a Kevin Evans, Matthijs Beekers. It was a guy from Sabi. There was Rock Cruiser was also there. Brendan Davids.
Okay.
Was Alan Atterley for a small time.
Yes.
It was in Cargo, a Rotor Giant with us. I think he was a year there, and that was an Adrian Lowe, Louis Knipe.
And the people that you're mentioning, would you say genetically, talent, whatever you want to call it, that there's a definitive level that they're at that you weren't, or would you sometimes beat them and maybe like you could have, or is it literally just there's another level that they're at and it's just not obtainable?
I just felt like I came to a ceiling. I just couldn't break that ceiling. And I mean, every year you try to tweak with what you've got, and I didn't have a coach, or actually was a bit on like no man's land. So I tried to figure it out. So that's one regret. Could have maybe got a coach to guide me a bit with the numbers or be a bit more scientific. But personally, I have plateaued, and then started the business. The business is moving this, and the cycling is this, and then my business partner said to me as well, and we said about the side hustle, but it's also part of the business, like the product development. I understand the environment. It's we need to make a choice here. You need to come all in, and and it was the reality, and still, it was the right decision. But still, I also dream of, yes, it would have been lovely to have a yellow jersey at the Cape. I could live in that, but the amount of sacrifice, I probably just wasn't. Yeah.
I'm
Even
glad
if you do everything right, it's not guaranteed success. And it's the same
glad you're
in
interacting
business.
with these people till today, though, because I know it's not the yellow jersey per se, but there's a figurative yellow jersey you've won that far more people are benefiting from than had you, stuck that out, and who knows where that lands. Having said that, there is, the Cape Epic has age cats, it has mixed cats, there's all sorts of. I would hazard a guess that this dream isn't quite over yet. I assume you still ride.
I do ride. It's a good question. I actually haven't I watched the Cape Epic online. I get so caught up, and I must be watchful for what I enter. I get very obsessive again, and then I neglect the business relationship. So I must manage it.
It's good that you're
I
aware
get
of that.
completely pulled in, and let's say I enter Wine to Wales, 3 months lead up, I operate like a professional again, like self-centered, and that's what you need to perform in cycling. But
that is the harsh reality.
Where I am in my life, I can't do that. I've got a business. We've got a big team I have to look after, and so I must just manage it correctly. So usually I treat myself with a Wine to Wales, and so you've got 3 months. I
That
warn
grin on
everybody.
your face is so telling.
I warn everybody. I'm gonna go all in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go a bit obsessive, and they know about it. I'll give them a fair warning, and then I don't enter events because I must be wary of that.
Now, do you specifically? I'm asking you as a business owner, as a leader. Surely you see the value of being able to tap out, focus on something else, almost a break, whatever you want to call it. So I know it's not rest, but it's shifting that focus. Do you see a strong correlation between that balance, even though your balance is all in and all in, that break? Can you feel the energy come back when you go back into the business? Are you recharged or not really?
No, absolutely. For us,
I advocate a lot for that.
Sport. So we run the business, and that's where I say cycling. Sport was my university. The lessons that we've learned there. We run the company as a sports team. We're not a family. You are cherry picked to be on this team. It's got high standards, got consequences. Family, you can't choose them, but we choose who's on the field, who's the combinations, and high performers love high performers. But high performers don't like low performers. Low performers don't like them. So we try to get the high performers to have the culture where it's that's healthy competition. We're going to push each other. We're going to call where's my blind spots. We foster that. We want that. That's what's going to push us. Not this nurturing thing. I usually say, I at least want an hour a day for exercise, if it's go to the gym or run. The day when there's not time for an hour of exercise, I feel the poorest that I can be. Like there's no, even if you have a massive, that day I feel that I'm the poorest man on earth. If I didn't have time that day for a 1 hour exercise to work on myself.
Couldn't agree with you more. It's so important. I think it's as well documented as it is. I sauna a lot. At Stellenbosch, and if you just sit in that sauna quiet, Oaks chats in that sauna, it's like a hair salon for men. Problems, ideas, people just bragging about stuff. There's a lot of very, very successful people that are in that sauna quite often. It's a weird place to network. And the amount of them, older generation, that are not tapped into, they come in, they sauna, so I suppose that there's that endorphin release, but they don't run, they don't cycle. They often sit and bemoan like, oh, you bloody cyclists, because it's the regulars, over time you get to know one another. And they'll always throw like, why do you cyclists do this? Like I'm now the representative for cyclists in the sauna. And it's the amount of times I've said to them, like just once, get on a bike, an e-bike, whatever, go and experience it. It will literally change your life. as a businessman.
Yeah.
Let alone, never mind weight loss or any of that stuff, just what it'll do for you before work, go and ride for an hour, for 2 hours. I guarantee your business will benefit from it. Everyone in your team will benefit. If you normalize that, and yes, they won't listen. Stubborn.
It's massive, and it's so obvious.
It's a game
for us,
changer.
but I mean, I can't go to the office and come there with an empty cup. It's the worst leader. Like, rather take an extra or do what you need, but you need to have energy and a clear mind. I think it's like easy one to say is when I watch the Munga, like strategically when you're going to sleep, the other dot goes on, and then all of a sudden the guy who stopped and just recalibrated, and then that dot comes past. And it's crucial to not always go in hustle mode. And we do not, I mean, everybody is so busy, like we actually not that we are in control. It's like we need to rest where we go, but that's where cycling is, because it's not the strongest guy who wins. You need to know when to conserve, when to attack, when to defend, read the opponents. Similar in the business, how many resources are we sending India? How many is enough who can go for rest? So you must be strategically. You can't just go the guy that go the fastest out of the gate is going to win, and that's how business is as well.
Yeah.
So,
and
cycling, if you do not cycle, people don't understand that side. If you don't put your head in the wind unnecessarily, there's teammates that do that, there's specialists that's looking after that division. For me, it's the cycling stuff that we've learned. That's how we operate the business. It's not, you don't want to be burn your matches in the first, leading halfway and lose the race.
I love the analogies of your business at being a sports team. I've never heard that before. I love it. That's brilliant. And all the lessons you can take from sports and apply to that is quite interesting. Versus. So I'm going to look out for your one to Wells now that I know that's your A race.
Are you racing as well?
I'd like to go do it. I don't know that I'll ever go and race a one to Wells. That Sound of Silence from the wine farm there. What is it? What is the Sound of Silence? What is that wine farm that comes from?
Oak Valley.
Oak Valley.
Oak Valley
and there's that lady that represents them at the event every year, and she's at the entrance of that tent. And she has this big, beautiful smile, and that Pinot Noir just sits there, and David, it calls my name. So I'll never race it because I won't be able to enjoy that and all the chaos that happens in there. That race for me is the biggest jewel, networking, socializing 3 days. It's a proper blow off steam thing. But I don't have an entry for this year. I want to. I've got all sorts of mountain bike objectives.
You must treat yourself like me.
I should, but I've treated myself with lots of other stuff. That's the problem. So that balance thing that you talk about, it's one thing. A business is extremely demanding.
Yeah.
And if you have the mentality of I want to give of my best, whatever it is that I'm doing. I've got an 18-month-old, an 18-year-old, a 15-year-old, an 18-month-old. So you want to be the best dad you can be. You want to be a good husband. I want this podcast to thrive and the community to grow off the back of it. There's other business. There's the cafe. And then there's this cycling obsession that I love, that I hate being cuck at.
Yeah.
But I can't afford to be good at because something has to give in this whole pie chart. And it's...
But there's a lot of people that I've seen, and you've seen as well, how it can... cycling, how good it is as well, where if you've got that out of balance, the harm it does to relationship, businesses.
If I don't cycle, everything falls flat. I did for the start of this year. We were so busy with what we've been doing here. There was no time, like 2 weeks. And it was, my wife said, like, I don't know what you need to give up on, but you need to go and ride that bike because I like literally was falling to pieces. Like I couldn't keep it together. And it's just be okay to go and just ride.
Yeah.
That's the challenge. It's to just ride is, I don't want to just go ride. I want to bleed through my eyeballs. Like I enjoy, the suffering.
Yeah.
But running was a good find because you can do that for an hour and you feel like you've done something. to cycle for an hour, I'm like, there's no point.
Yeah, it's
But
quite
an hour
efficient.
run is such a...
Yeah. No, it's bang for your buck.
Yeah.
Like, it's quick, efficient.
Dan Loeb coined the phrase for me, running is pure. There's something special that happens when you're out running. You can do it on your own and it still feels like it was a social experience.
From that first meter you work.
And there's no time to think. Speaking of the socks, the business starts in your mate's spare room of his parents' house, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Okay. Those designs he obviously takes care of. There's the first order. The first order, I'm guessing you did the pre-orders and used that cash flow to go and place the orders, or was there a loan? Was there someone that backed you right at the start that said, could see the vision, or did you have money saved up? I asked that because I've started a few businesses, many of which have failed, one or two have succeeded, and that cash flow at the start is just like, that for me, the first 2 years was the most complicated thing to balance.
I think both of us committed 15K. It's a lot. It's everything that we've got. 15K to play. It's our opening orders got managed, or we bought that. Then pre-orders online helped a bit for the initial cash flow. But we stayed with our parents, keep costs as low as possible for as long as possible, because every penny that you can reinvest in the business is so vital in the beginning.
Yeah.
But then started with long lead times, ran sort of, so our problem was, okay, we're selling the stock too quick for us to replenish our stock, the lead time. So it's that we were struggling with getting, and then my mom worked for a lawyer company, still I think for 35 years. And she said, no, we can go speak to him. So we got a loan with no interest, just to almost buy our stock. So the thing is, now we get traction, and then people want to place orders and we're out of stock, and that doesn't build nice trust. So just to breach that, the breach financing, just that stock to go. So because almost you can grow yourself to death, because the next order is going to be bigger. So when are you going to see this money?
Yeah.
Some of them have long...
It's always tied up.
Yeah, or what's that? Terms. Some have got crazy terms, and now you want to compete with the big guys. But I mean, we need the funds, and now these terms. So you're always on the back foot. You've got money, but you don't have money. It's tied up. You're waiting for it. It's in stock. So it was about 2 years then. But I usually say, I think they'd say we make R1,000 for the first month. We're not used to anything, so that's a win for us. We didn't come from a corporate salary where you try to match them, or it's gonna be crazy. I mean, so we with the age and living with our parents, and I remember so the garage became full, and then I lived on the farm. There was no internet, so I struggled with the connection as well. So. But so then the stock became a lot. So I just had my carpet like in a block. So with, I think, 4 boxes stacked, and that was overflow stock. And that's how we started. But then I walk around, and that's...
Okay.
But yeah, the cash flow, but the R1,000 was a massive win for us, because we came from nothing.
Love that.
And making 2,000 is a big win. I mean, we're moving in the right direction. So I think, should we add other bigger jobs, you have to risk that, even if you've got all the right intentions, the vision, the culture, the nice game plan, it's still not guaranteed success, and that's super scary.
Yeah.
You can put 2-3 years in, and it doesn't stop at zero. You go in the minus, and that is making a business so tough. And that's why, if it was easy, everybody could have done it, but it doesn't stop at zero. You going in the minus, you sinking that ship properly, and then how the hell do you start again?
Yeah.
And that's just the harsh reality of, I mean, if you have, let's say, my business partner that got a degree, studied the degree, said no for the job, you go 3 years in, you go in the minus, and also just that psychological, like, you've sank the ship.
Physically weighs on you.
You've got 3 years left behind. You could have, let's say, climbed the corporate ladder or built something else. Now you start from nothing, and it is, I mean, for us to say, I didn't win it or I didn't succeed, it's tough for a man. I mean, it's
not in you to do that.
Yeah, it's not in you to do it. So it's still back to scared of mediocre, scared of becoming second. That's where versus still today, you're scared. We don't want to lose. We want to be on the top. We want to be in a winning team. And then motivated, disciplined. And that combo, I think, just fuels, it's the right type of DNA. It fuels the fire.
Who gave you guys the knowledge or the insight on, because it sounds like from the onset you were pretty good at knowing how to roll stock, maintain cash flow. There's good business logic and know-how there. Are you guys entirely self-taught and experiential in terms of going through that journey? Is that like learn as you go, or was there someone that was leaning in and giving some advice there? Because I know I'm not taking anything away from how tough those first 3 years were, but to have gotten there is incredible. Even with the success you had on the pre-sales, that rolling, the bridge finance, all that kind of stuff, like you said, it can and almost always does sink you.
Yeah. And that's where I give a lot of credit to my business partner. It is the Swiss knife. It's quite a speciality. He can actually specialize in each division. But in a business, to grow, you need to let go. I also said to him, and he knows it, for him it was a bit difficult to let go because he is detailed. For me, if we hire a new person, the next day I'll be your biggest supporter and you can outshine me in the first day. For a person to outshine him. So for him, it was a bit difficult to let go of our stuff. But he's coming from a finance background. His mom was an accountant. That really helped. Good on Excel.
Great.
I'm horrible. I didn't even understand integrations and apps and email stuff and how important it is in a business today, where I really can relax on my blind spots because I know we're in good hands there. That really helped a lot. Always find a solution, optimization, automation. It's not just scale with human resources. We always scale with what can be automated. What's the newest tools? I've got it doesn't actually give me energy. I really appreciate it and I love it. But when I say I've got a new idea, let's say out and back, but I need this and it needs to track, they love to go through the night and build something. And I can do my thing and look in the future, and I know the back end, they're going to figure it out. But we also learned a bit, try to automate, use the tools, what's available. We do have a big system build, a bill at the end of the month, and I actually didn't know of system. Why do we need to pay? We can just copy and paste. And because I come from a farm, I don't know the tech side of. I know I've got a vision and the socks, the product and the market, like offline marketing. I understand the consumer, who's the target market, but that technical back end data-driven stuff is absolutely in his strength. And then I think in 4 years in, we had a business coach for 2 years that we had actively coaching, looking at everything in the business, calling us out. Like somebody criticize us, or you've got the wrong team member, I want you to get rid of them. And it's for us, it's like, sure, it's quite harsh. But somebody objectively from the outside looking at us, and we are here to be schooled. I mean, a business coach look at a few different companies. What is the industry norm? How does it happen? What's HR? How do we have to react here? We don't know. So we YouTube, we get all the information, and then so we always are open to learn, to do short courses, to upskill ourselves. Now we're at a place where we can hire specialists for the company in each division, where it's much easier now. With everybody want to hire the specialists in the beginning, but you can't afford them. You can't even attract them because you're a startup. It's not normal. You haven't built something. You've got no track record, trust. But now biggest thing is we need to be profitable. We need to attract the best, retain the best. So it is where it's easy in a sense because you have your sales specialist, marketing specialist that come from other places that want to do, we haven't implemented, they can implement it for us. It's not just us anymore. It's a big team effort, and that really, it's like a snowball effect for the company. It's a cool place to be now. We've got enough resources, but we need to go in the right direction because you can also stuff it up if you've got a bad leader at the top or somewhere or even middle management. So it's a different, you need to adapt each year. It's a new, I need to fire myself in a position. And that was marketing. And then we got a marketing manager, and then it was sales, and I'm out there. So then you have to each year reinvent. What value do I add? So sometimes it feels like you're not actively doing day-to-day stuff. So I must just focus on vision, like steering the ship. So you had to adapt, and I think a lot of time, I think it was in year 5, we said, my business partner said, no, we need an operational man. It's like, what's that? I don't know what that is. And I've got a person for us, and this is the salary that they come in for, and they earn more than us. And it was hard for us. And it was the best move. So we brought in it was a senior employee, and just got processes in place, SOPs, onboarding, and flip it. It was the best investment ever. Like, pay somebody that's better than you, that could have led the company, was fitter than us on that time. Like, we may need to step back and see how it's done. And till today, I usually say, if we the handbrake, if I can't keep up, let's say, like the CEO of the company, even if it's 2 years to get somebody in my place too, and then step back. Gymshark did it as well. He was 25 years old, got a top CEO, and step back. He's not fit enough for where that company is currently. And that says a lot. You don't want to hamper the growth because you can't keep up. And it takes a lot to give away your everything, your baby that you've worked on, to say, listen, I'm not fit enough for this phase that we are moving in. I need to step back. But the company has to be led by a person that's capable and people can trust, because you do have a lot of influence there. But having the wrong influence is not good, healthy for the company.
That's an incredible level of EQ. I can't wait to have this conversation in 10 years' time and see what it grows to, because I can only imagine the trajectory will stay upward. But before you fire yourself as CEO, let's talk about some of the really successful stuff you've done. I love marketing. I know you enjoy offline and online marketing too. As a brand, so we're leading up to this, the Savage and other groups ride to and from here. So we have this is like the Skinner station down there. Like, you get the real, what's going on the streets, sitting down there. And obviously saw Reese while he was here.
Connecting and info spreading
I
quickly.
said to the guys, I'm meeting Jurgens, and like, what do you remember, like, the sock part of cycling? Like, talk to me socks. Give me like a mind up. There's guys here that have been cycling since, let's say, like 15, 16, 17, 18 years. Older people that have been cycling even longer than that, and it's so interesting to hear what people say about, like, the trajectory of how socks changed the game. So one of the most, probably the most critical, normal sort of sticking points of cycling fashion is sock color. Does it match the shoes and the height? I mean, it's laughable how criticized that is.
There's even a rule for UCI length.
There is a rule. There's an official rule.
People that is like, you're lying. It can't be.
There's actual rules.
The rules. Because the material is faster than the skin, so everybody's pushing the limits now. But I mean, you need to regulate it. We don't want to look like clowns at the end of it. It's similar as golf. There's some regulations too. And similar as the rugby teams with long socks, they don't like it even. But they are looking after probably the look of
the image and the brand of the sport is a real thing.
Yeah, where it comes from. And as similar, I think cycling, we also don't have I don't think you can't ride without sleeves. And it's good. I mean, we can't look like clowns.
I'm all for it.
Be
I like the
presentable.
look
must sell
of professional cycling. I don't want that to change
absolutely. But yeah, socks normally it was such a neglected thing, but cycling was always very sock specific. We came from the triathlon, almost secret stuff, and then it started Tour de France, it's 99% white, and they got the length dialed in.
Is it true that it gives you an extra 20 watts if your socks are white?
Even if it doesn't give the watts, but you will look the fashion or the statement that it looks so fast and clean and crisp with shaved legs.
I
it's just the way to go.
can't wear anything other than white socks.
It looks the fastest. You can't, not see.
One of the guys said, please ask Jurgens about the banana socks. He said that is, according to him, you guys officially went viral as a result of those socks. That was, he's like, I need you to ask him about it. So, Brendan, this is me asking Jurgens for you if that is, in fact, the socks that put you on the map. I remember my entire career has been corporate, it still is. The boardrooms, people don't believe that I sit in boardrooms in a collared shirt with long sleeve pants and a blazer jacket, but that is actually my normal 8 to 5, believe it or not. And I distinctly remember it wasn't sexy socks, but they put patterns on socks, and I saw them in boardrooms all of a sudden. It was they came in that thing there were 3 socks. I just specifically remembered seeing it, and it was like all of a sudden in a boardroom you'd sit there and you'd see socks, and it became the start of a meeting in Cape Town's almost always something sport related or the weather.
I think it can be happy socks as well.
And happy socks, that's who it was.
Quite on the fashion side.
The boardroom banter at the start of a meeting was, oh, I see you got those ones. Oh, and it was like socks entered the chat. Now then I wasn't cycling. I was completely absorbed into business and corporate, and that was, I live, breathe, eat, sleep, just business. Wine and dining out, that was our hobby. And like socks had entered the chat. Now I think if I overlay the time where I was noticing that, because this was our chat night downstairs, deep diving into the sock culture. And he's like, no, that was the same time, it must be the same time that their banana socks came out. And that was like, blew up everywhere. It was like, according to him, that was like the demand went crazy. And that seemed to be like a thing for a while. There were stuff on socks and mountains and bananas and cherries and Snoopy's and all sorts of wonderful things. To me, at least now, it's cycling at least. Running maybe a bit different, but I think similar, you correct me, it's kind of going back to white, cleaner looks. And it's like almost like an older person thing that they've got the funny designs left now. No, so that was our downstairs Peloton banter, as I call it. What is...
But I mean, we've launched sort of with a classic designs the first year, and then I think my business partner came up with this. When I saw that thing, it's almost, we haven't seen it before.
The bananas.
The bananas on the sock. This is gonna go like nobody have saw a banana performance sock. It's just frowned upon. We haven't seen it before. It haven't been done before. Okay. We'll get all the attention, and that's what we got. The orders were massive.
First time you guys saw it, you were like, this is going to kill it. You knew it.
We knew it, and we went all in. It was one product. The following up was the jelly bean one, but the bananas was massive. It was called like banana watts, and the packaging was bananas on. And all the like independents, the orders were massive.
What year is this now?
2016, the end of 2016.
So this is early on in the development.
Early on, and we couldn't keep up. And it wasn't even comfortable. It was like a double cuff thing. It was way too tight around the ankles. But people will gonna fit that thing on, and that's cool. Bananas, and then it went viral. I mean, but for us, we'll do anything for attention in the beginning.
Yeah.
So even if it's not cool, even our cars, I mean, it was full of wrapped with all the different colors. It looks like a rainbow. Well, we just want any attention to say, because it was
no
socks.
such thing as bad PR.
Now it's a bit more like it's just versus. If we don't add socks anymore, it's not the socks icons, but there goes the sock guide, because you see it before you see how you can see the sock shape. Any attention is good. We just need to move on. People must talk about it. But then, printed has also evolved. We have also our own printed machines. We do a lot of corporate where you can do the Pantone colors really go. So that's a new technology, and we've also invested in that, where it's fast lead times. You can print anything on a sock. There's no limitation with color.
So you can match your corporate Pantone CR to your socks.
Yeah, perfectly, and it's very quick turnaround time. And normally with knitted socks, you are limited with 6 colors, and the threading, there is a risk for it to come out easy. You can't go that sharp with design. So the printing has changed a bit. So, I mean, the designers could just go, anything is possible. Like do anything on a sock, fading this and we've done that, and we'll see a lot in the markets. It was really overcrowded, and then it sort of went down, and not down, but our classic range were always there, your white and black, and till the day when we die, it will still be it's our top seller, and it will still be our top seller when we die, and it's never going to change, and it must always be like that. The other stuff will come and go, but your white and black, nothing will replace those colors. It's classic, it's iconic. We all can do with that pair. Everybody that you talk, I can do with a few of them in my cupboard. Fresh one, new ones, always. Yeah. It will always be classics, easy to match. You don't need to worry about clashing. So now we've got a balance of, you've got your funky socks, or it's got patterns on, but we've got the right. You can choose what you want to wear, but a lot of time your classics don't get the attention online. You will see it, but they are performing so good in your stores and online. Where the classic one, if you launch a new one, it goes well on social media or ever, but it's just a silent assassin. It's so good.
One that I always noticed was your white sock with just that logo on the back. That was so slick. Yeah. Just right in the middle on the back here. I don't know if it was a specific race that they were sponsored, but like one Tuesday, because we are big riders on a Tuesday, I just saw this.
But the rubber one?
Yeah.
The rubber one is now...
It's just like one morning I woke up and everyone had them. I was like, what happened?
So I think 2 years ago, we're the only ones in South Africa that can do the rubber on a sock. So it's like a heat transfer product, and that really elevates the product. And it's just slick. On a super clean sock, and you've got this label or rubber. That also works well. But and a lot of time, even older people say, it's versus my kids wear it. Like, because our classic stuff gets lost in the noise. So we try to make sure that it's evenly weighted, because it's overpowering. It just takes the show. But the classics that's what we all want and need in our life. The others come and go, and they change. I mean, they've got a 6-month lifespan with us. Then we change them out of the
and that you use just to keep things exciting.
But your classics, you don't need. You can even skip a year of development, and it's still good to go. So
I do want to get into a little bit of like nerdy sock tech, because they aren't as simple as just making a pair of socks. I've obviously been lucky enough to get these, which were made in, I can't actually believe they were done as quickly as they were. So thank you for expediting those. For anyone that hasn't seen them, it's got the logo on the front and it says Stories Matter on the back. We'll get a picture and we'll put that up. What is the process of this sock from zero, not existing, to, guys, please put Stories Matter on the back of the left and the right, and the logo on the front? What is linear left to right? How does this thing come to existence? So all our socks we manufacture abroad with the best factories in the world that we can be. Really struggled with our local manufacturing, with the load shedding and the quality and the volumes that we do. We couldn't invest fully in a proper manufacturing. It's a highly specialized operation. So we develop our socks internationally. Then we've invested in the printing machines. And so integrity, construction of the sock, we've got
a white sock essentially in stock on our quality that we do have, and then we produce samples every day. Our average lead time on custom orders, any size, is 7 days. Like the manufacturing lingo is always long lead times, big MOQs. We threw that out we want full control of that we can make it accessible, fast for clubs, running, school, everything. They can, you don't have to plan too far in advance. We've got that sorted on our side. So when any info comes in, it goes to our designers. We've got a dedicated custom team, so it's almost a separate team running in the business. They're running parallel with the brand and the custom. They each complement each other. It's not just a promotional sock that you get. You all know you, even if you give it as a corporate gift, is packed. It retails for 200 Rand on the shelves. That's where you're going to benchmark it.
Yeah.
We look after that process as smooth as possible. We don't want you ever to follow up. You need traceability. You know exactly where you are. It must be easy for you. And that's why we are sock specialists. When it comes to that, we make it as easy as possible.
7 days.
7 days average that we are with all our orders when it comes.
That's
and
crazy.
as soon as that numbers go out of 7, we'll either go overtime or we invest in more machinery and more people.
Okay.
We will not make the queue longer. We must ensure
That's
that
the
the level,
standard.
that's the standard.
Okay.
We don't want to brag like we are fully booked for the next 2. That's stupid.
Yeah.
But our biggest, we've recently, 2 weeks ago, we've launched an AI designer on our site. That's also next level. That's my business partner that said to him that I saw somebody do this, and he implemented it. Also working well, you just drop your logo, you give him a brief description, and you lead our designer. Obviously, AI can't take everything, but I can get a 90%, our designer can get a 90% very good direction of where you're heading to without wasting our resources of I give you 10 options and it's completely mismatched. So that's really enhancing the speed as well, just to work with
live
the tools.
on the site.
Yeah, live on the site.
Okay.
So in 1 minute you can generate, we can do it for corporates, and sometimes they love it so much, it's just like
Use that.
the designer must just tweak it and make it print ready. But that's the tools out there.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's insane.
So it goes designer, align on the design, you get that back. That's what it's going to look like. Cool, happy. Then it goes through to
production.
So the stocks. So the big investment you've made is in understanding the best suppliers to make this actual thing. Yeah, that's one part of the business. And I would imagine there's loads of travel, seeing factories, trial and error. I know this because I've been through it. It's impossible. It's so difficult. So needless to say, that's a whole experience on its own. So those are sitting in stock. And then I would imagine be pulled from stock, design, and that goes to?
That goes to our facility. So our DC and our factory is next to each other in Kuils River. We actually just moved in January, still with our last processes, but we've got our own facility now where we control everything. The temperatures was crucial for us in our own that we've invested.
Temperature in the factory?
Yeah, it's very crucial for the temperature to be the same where the ink is, to make sure that we do not have bleeding. In hot days, we really struggled with even the black on white is quite crucial that we don't struggle with bleeding.
Okay.
So all the controllables that we can control is now also looked after. Got air cons, proper, cold room for them. And then our MOQ is 50 pairs. Then our printers will receive it. Files get ripped or something like that, what they call it. Get right, a ripped file, and then it gets, it gets to the machines. They print it, goes to an oven, 180 degrees. The color then comes out, so it's all like gray. Goes through the oven on a conveyor belt, and then it can go to QC, and then our finishing department where we package it, goes to our DC, and then we send it out. And that's
amazing.
Every day they produce about 4,000.
Wow.
4,000 pairs every day. So our head office isn't at our factory in our DC. It's just our creatives, our marketing, it's just split it up. The factory in DC, it's a lot of moving parts.
Sure.
It's also, it's crucial for a business, but also a big distraction for us to be there. So we've got very good people in place that look after our back end to make sure they keep up. I mean, we can say we're the best and it looks nice at the top, but our back end isn't functioning, the speed isn't there, the deliveries are late, people have to follow up with us. As soon as somebody follow up, I know there's an issue. They mustn't, we want to, I mean, the couriers, when you order online, that that automation where they keep you in the loop.
That's
and
the
that's
best.
great.
Yeah.
And
don't make me have to ask
we
what
have
it
the
is.
similar of, if we've got the data, we'll keep you on the machines. This is your current ETA. That's where you people. We just want to be. Yeah, we don't. If we've got the information, we'll give it.
Share
just
it.
keep trust and don't let them panic about it. We've got it in control.
That new facility that you mentioned now. Is it possible to come and see that? To film a pair from design all the way through.
Yeah.
It would be nice if you get whoever's comfortable for us to video the process, to take a new design from AR to inbox and to follow that through. I'm committing. Alec here is going to be shaking his head. Dave, stop committing me to doing cool shirts. I would love to have done these, but the time frame you did it in, we weren't quick enough to be able to film the process. I just think it's so impressive. Like, I find that stuff so cool. Like to see something actually come to life and be made, and controlling that print and that quality and the time frame. It's ridiculous. I'd actually love to physically witness it.
Yeah, no, we've moved, and that's a reason why we've invested in our own facility. It's not a third party, it's not outsourced. We want full responsibility, full control. If we make a mistake, we can. It's not just, let's crucify the messenger. We want to take control. What we say is what we can produce. We want flexibility. We can go overnight. We can go night shifts. We can do a few things, and it's part of becoming a world champ. Everybody that operates there is a world champ standard. How does a world champ pick and pack an order? It's different from a normal person. So that's a mentality.
Love that.
But the facility is on our standard that we want to and that we are proud to share. And that's why I would love to do a tour with you guys to say that this is the standard where we operate. This is the automation. This is the type of people that we employ and the speed that we do operate. We really do take pride in what we are doing, and it must be a world-class facility with the best technology that we also can use and adapt to the demands.
Well, count us in. I don't know how you're going to explain to your courier that a videographer is going to get in the back of their van. And I don't know how we're going to explain to the consumer there's going to be a camera in your face when your socks are off. But we're going to commit and we're going to see it through. Last question, just technically on the socks. Are there different models of socks? You spoke about that a bit earlier. And I know some people, one model to the next, it felt tighter. It wasn't like, how much changes there?
So you get a sock machine. It takes about 5 minutes to knit a sock, and that just comes from a yarn. That's a highly specialized machines, and it's a technical product. I mean, so we've got 200 needles going around. So there's 200 strings going down, and that's needle count. And then it comes. So we need to be on a seamless machine. And there's not a lot in the world because sport people need to go seamless. You can't have an open toe and then they close it afterwards. We don't want any friction on the toes. So that's a non-negotiable for sports sock. Then we go 200 needle. It's a finer needle. Make sure the elastic is good enough. Not too tight, but it can't also just sag down. So length is crucial.
So technical.
It is so technical. And if you get the length wrong, people hate the sock. Even if it sits so you've got various lengths, thickness as well. We found we've got you also need to look at durability. So padded toe and heel, and then selective tear on the front, breathable panel on the top, arch support. I mean, underneath our foot, it goes in there. So we don't want excess material. It needs to be tight there. then you get a left and right. Our feet
I was
different.
going to ask you that. Is there really a difference?
The difference, absolutely. Then they knit, so you don't need that much material on the small toe. So now it's just bunching up in a
crazy.
shoe. So you want to go like a half moon there
Okay.
to cut it down because now you're sitting with excess material and similar as our cycling jersey. Any stuff that's excess in a bib or it doesn't need to be there. So that sock being knit, then it's being shaped on a left and right form. So then we shape it and it goes also in the oven a certain degree.
Yes.
And then the heel is also now we've got a 3D heel that's also shaped. That's a proper pocket. So you can feel when it slide in the pocket, that's the fit where it needs to be in. And then your polyester, nylon, your synthetic material is still the best performing when it comes to sport for us. It's lightweight. Even if you throw our socks in the washing and you take it out, it needs 5 minutes of air dry and it's dry, the product. Even if you weigh it, like a cotton sock out of the washing machine and our socks, because if you go through a river crossing or you do cycle in the rain, the product is going to get wet, but it must dry out quickly. You can't have like a cloth or like a cotton.
That is
and then your shoes get heavier.
Amount of detail.
Then if you've got the wrong product, now you run, the sweat goes down, but now you're, let's say we add the 200 grams there. It all adds up. It's a marginal. And then now you've got a wet product around your skin. Your skin gets softer, you start to get blisters. And it's, so you need to start with the right foundation. You must make sure that your selection of material is good. And then that tightness, because underneath we call it the underlaying yarn. It's very fine, but there's elastic everywhere and you need to see the tension.
And this is all your IP, right? You've got specific things here that you're managing with people to make sure that you keep ahead of the competition.
Absolutely. Need to be consistent with our stretch test, our rub test, making sure they come in because every sock is actually unique, made and in a single split second, like a reject. And we've got, with manufacturing, we've got a higher reject rate even on the printing. And we need to absorb it and need to find a fine balance. But it is a very technical product and it's a product that's...
All for 200 Rand.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But it's been neglected, but it's a super contact and we all need the product. Imagine next day there's no more socks on the market. How crap will our day be? How sport? It's a crucial barrier for us. And now we're just like, let's build a cool brand around it. Let's build a community around socks.
That is a brilliant segue because I'm dying to talk about your events. So you guys do loads of stuff brilliantly. The quality of the sock, I think you mentioned earlier that you guys are the market leaders. I would say that the general consensus in our highly data-centric Peloton banter cafe downstairs, I say that in jest, it's generally referred to as like that is the market leader.
Mr. Trade
versus is the one to beat.
Mr. Trade server.
The official, this is the very unofficial.
Unofficial.
And so all of that is true. The website is great. The consumer experience is great. The packaging is brilliant. The designs. You guys are 10 out of 10 at absolutely everything. For me, the 20 out of 10, the way you guys activate the community that run, I'm just, as a marketer, I'm just like, that is it. That is how you market a sock. All the other stuff is actually hygiene. Like, you have to do that to be the best, sure.
Yes.
That's hygiene. It's a differentiator because it's difficult to compete against for anyone coming in, anyone that's trying to do it like the cheap outsource way. Like, those brands will always be there. That's a standard. But you put an event on like that, and you have the heart and soul of people locked into those events. Like the amount of people, how many people went and did it. It's like, man, that is chapeau. Like, well flippin' done. That is. I look at that, I'm like, that for me is inspirational. I draw from that, like, I'd imagine we could do something like that one day, is the kind of thing that the emotions that come to mind. What's the story behind those? Because you've had some pretty epic tales earlier about the 500 and then it's 1,000 and it's just nuts what you've done there.
Yeah, I think, as you said, a lot of this stuff, we all know that paid media or targeting, it's all good and well, but if we can add the offline thing that's very difficult. It's difficult to measure. But we really believe in it, and I think it comes from sporting, the memories that we've made at sport. It's easy for us. We don't need to convince a board. We're going to spend money. And this is a long-term investment. We're just going to lose for the next 6 months. We know it. I mean, but we believe that much in creating that memory, to be that close to the consumer, that they can really feel engaged hand-to-hand combat with them. Will pay big dividends. So we believe in it. It is fun for us to do it, to host the event on your level where you have full control, where you are the title sponsor. We're not an events company, so we do not need to make profit here. We can add as much value as possible because we sell socks. And having more events, more people start to love the brand, the more they will buy our socks. So for us, we enjoy doing the events. It's also like our internal team building. We learn a lot, but I really think it strengthens the brand and the message that we are here for the long run. We're investing in our community. We add as much value as possible. If you've been to our race, if you see the value that you get in your goodie bag, the medal size, it's not cutting cost. The experience, that's what you pay for. If you buy our product as well, it's make sure we don't outprice ourselves, add as much value as possible, but that we also don't want to be a product that 2 out of 10 people wear. We'd like to be at least a 6 or 8 out of 10. We'll never have the whole market share, but we want to be the leaders. And that the events is working well for us. It is hard work. We're not an events company, but it's a nice aspect in our calendar that we focus on. And how can we, just on that day really make a lasting memory. And
I know people that drove from Noordhoek to Stellies to go and do that run. It was like, it wasn't even a second thought. The pull of that event, the cool factor, I'm sure you know, but I don't think you even begin to imagine how far and wide-reaching that event was. It was like the buzz of at least Cape Town when that went on. I had immense FOMO that we weren't there. We couldn't be there on the day. What are some of the numbers around that event? I don't think people know just how many people...
What, back to base? Or?
All of them.
So every year, January, we have the 1st of Jan to the 10th of Jan, we've got back to base. And that's standard for us. So you sign up for 50K in 10 days. How you're going to do it, it's up to you. But we can pull your data from Strava. We'll do the data check. But then you can't buy that sock. So we've got a back to base. You know, beginning of the year, people just need consistency, reset button. So early on December, people commit sign up. You get about 20,000 sign-ups. People commit. People are with family. Like, convince your parents, your family members, we're going to do this thing. Let's start the year right. It can just be good for you. Like, so we got a big sign-up thing. Then you work for 10 days. You do your thing. So you do 5Ks a day, but starting to skip a day, then you see how it struggles. So we want the compound effect. I mean, just get in a routine. We need consistency. That's how we build a brand. That's how you build everything, consistency. So that works well. It's a big offline thing. It's accessible. Then on the 25th, I think it's payday, then we send, after we ordered your data, we know who did the 50 because we work with the Strava data. Then you unlock that sock. Now they are so emotionally attached to that product because I've worked with it. It was consuming. It was in my calendar. I had to plan for it, where I'm going to run and my data. So then people are proud to unlock that sock, and now you can buy the product. We've made it also accessible to buy the product, lower the shipping. So it must work for us long term, but it's working for everybody. We inspire a lot of people. It's a good start to the year. And the stories that we've heard for people that never thought they could run that far or have started to enter events, those stories are massive, and that's the influence that the brand's starting to have. And we're just a sock company, but we can do these events that got a massive multiplier effect. The amount of kilometers, I think we've worked out, we've shared the data, was like 12 times around the world that South Africa run. That's the impact.
Incredible.
And we're building healthier and fitter communities. It's good. Then we've got the run party. It's a standard thing for us. We've moved to the road last year. It was our second one now. It was 7,500 people. 21K, all focus on one. All our resources on one. We haven't reinvented the wheel. I mean, events, music, water points, but we've made everything better. Like the goodie bag better, the experience better, more vibe points, the best DJ, the biggest medal. Like just take, and that's our versus. We haven't reinvented the wheel. I mean, socks come, but we made it better. How you feel about the product, and that event is, it's on our home turf. It's Stellenbosch. We work closely with university and municipality there, buy into what we are doing. It's our hometown event. It's sort of easy for us with our infrastructure and our resources there. Planning one for Gauteng as well, we'd like to add. And these are all brand building events, community events that will fuel our bigger goals. We need to sell more socks, and we can. I think our business coach said to us the one day, like, "What's the figure?" And I said, "That's the figure." And then what then? And like, "Yeah, what then?" Like, I actually didn't know the answer, and I thought about it, and I've shared it with the team as well. The thing is, if we reach a certain number or a goal, we can dream much bigger, and that's cool for us. Like, if there's no ceiling, and with our product now that we manufacture, some of our products abroad, we're with the best in the business. There's no ceiling, and if there's no ceiling, that's also wild. Like, and it's not just a money thing. It's like, what are you going to do strategically if there is no ceiling? There's anything is possible. We saw at the Epic with Tristan.
Yeah.
A 10-year overnight success that took 10 years. Yeah. Like, what if we compound?
It's a full circle moment.
Flip it. Like, and these events are growing well, and it's all just to really add value. We are the title sponsor. We take all the financial we're not gonna hand it over to a big bank as a president. It's not the aim of these events. It's not a money making and we taking a title and we starting to be second in line. It's a brand. The exercise is to benefit versus on the long run. It's an investment for the brand and must always stay like that for us.
I love it. I love the event, the brand, the origin story. I mentioned earlier, I can't wait to see what happens in 10 years' time. I honestly think, I mean, you've opened my eyes. You know, it isn't just a sock company. It is not by any stretch of the imagination. But that's what's possible if you have something as simple as a sock company with the right motivation, the right values, the right outlook on the community. Then it becomes bigger than a sock company, and it's much more than that, regardless that is, you know, what you're selling. I honestly don't think, because of the leadership that your business has and your never-ending imagination and self-belief, that you guys are only just getting started. I think 10 years is, you know, we were chatting earlier with Reese, and, you know, this epic, all South African epic title is 10 years in the making. You know, a couple brands and people sat down and said, we're going to win this thing. And we were all agreeing earlier, like, this isn't, it's not like, oh, you know, they've won it, that's it. It's, the floodgates are now open. Yeah. And I think an era of dominance is going to be coming. I'm so glad we've had this after Epic with your deep ties to that being your ambition and where you guys are. I think there's a very serendipitous connection between all these things. And I'm just incredibly excited to see where that's going to go. And I'm really grateful that you've taken the time to come sit and tell us in our little community that we're very passionate about building, telling us that story. We will 100% come to the factory and do whatever we can to tell that story too. So I think will be nice to show some of the heroes behind the brand in the factory that make this thing come to life. The events, whatever it is, count us in, like 100% there. Big fans and supporters. So really just want to wish you all the best. Don't stop dreaming or putting any limits in place, and don't forget us down here in the deep south.
No, I will definitely not forget you guys. Yeah, thanks so much. It's, I just get goosebumps, like what's happening in our space, our environment, and like the epic, we must just use that momentum and energy. Like, if we put the work in for 10 years, like, we'll be in a far much better place. But it's compound. Every day is a brick in the wall, and they're a testament of that. Of nothing happens overnight. But yeah, it's great to be here, and thanks that I can share my story.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you.